You need an eviction moratorium, but how can you stay in your house without getting involved with the Speaker of the House? Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoons LALATE. Hope you're good and safe. Congratulations, you made it to the weekend. Yes, it's Afternoons LALATE that starts every day at 3:30 with a check, then goes to hazard pay, FPUC, and finally rent. All those wonderful and confusing things that no one has done anything for you, as Nancy Pelosi continues to make Americans homeless due to her really bad negotiations. But incredibly great news today, as the powers that be really see that eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance won't come from the Speaker of the House to keep you in your house, but actually the guy from the big house, the president himself. There's a lot of talk today, and it continues all week long and should continue into next week, about whether or not this president will issue an executive order. He can do it. He can absolutely do it. And the news comes as really Nancy Pelosi has not seen eviction moratorium as a top priority. As detailed earlier today on Afternoons LA, the Democrats are onto another scandal. Yes, let alone another scandal. And while they can be doing an eviction moratorium as a standalone bill, they haven't. While Democrats and Republicans can get down to the nitty-gritty and do a standalone bill for eviction moratorium, they haven't. Carolyn Maloney, who wrote a single standalone bill no less than a week ago today, Democrat out of New York, out of, Chuck Schumer's area, she wrote a standalone bill for postal, didn't write one for eviction moratorium. So as we sit back here, where is our hope and where is the progress likely to come? It's likely to come from Pennsylvania Avenue, from the president himself. New indications today, and certainly started yesterday, from Mark Meadows, Movie Meadows, that the president wants to get more things done by eviction moratorium. This appears likely and possibly as one of those items. We haven't heard specifically when and where. We haven't heard the detail of all the eviction moratoriums that are going to be floated out. But Meadows said this week, hey, President's sick of it, as you are and I am. He's sick of the stalemate of Congress, and he's going to start using his inherent authority for executive orders. Now, he has absolute complete authority to issue an eviction moratorium. He has complete authority to issue a mortgage forbearance. He has a complete authority to protect you and keep you in your home, whether you're a renter, whether you own your home, whether you're a property owner for commercial or multifamily, which is apartments. He has that authority. He's already used part of its authority, and that was really the great news I detailed earlier this week, which was he had issued a guidance that he didn't want federally backed properties that you rent going into foreclosure or eviction moratoriums. So that has been instituted, but more on a, how would you say it, at a agency level, not on a national level. So some people who are in certain types of homes, HUD homes, won't be evicted, won't be foreclosed upon. And this is really great news. This is really great news. It comes from the guidance of the president. So this is really great news. The problem is, as you sit here today, it's like, okay, what if I'm not in that type of property? What do I get? You get nothing. And that's why an eviction moratorium is needed right now. I've seen my viewers. I know who you are. And boy, the last 4 weeks has been really tough. It's been very rough. And a lot of viewers have become homeless in the last 4 to 6 weeks. There's a lot that are looming on the brink of homelessness. They're facing eviction moratoriums. I've seen your eviction notices. I've seen them. And I really think the next 8 weeks is really going to be bad news right away. And that's why eviction moratoriums really need to get floated by the president right away. As the Purple Power, you have the power to really tag Meadows, to tag Mnuchin, to tag the president and say, hey, get this eviction moratorium out there. Now, you absolutely have another conduit to this, and I don't talk about it a lot on this channel, but that conduit is your state. Governors can issue eviction moratoriums, and they have. There's currently about, I don't know, a couple dozen. It was more like 23 about a month or two ago, but some of them have expired. States that issued incredibly great eviction moratoriums. These protected you from being thrown on the street, and they're very, very long-standing. The case of Delaware I always use. Delaware said, we're not going to evict you until the pandemic settles down, and it will add 90 days on top of that. Amen. This was done by the governor. Other governors who are just a hot mess express, like the governor of Missouri, which is, hopefully his time is almost up. He said, you know what, I don't want to deal with it. I'm a Republican, I don't want to deal with it. I'll leave it for the counties to figure it out. And that's just really bad. I'm going to tell you why it's bad. Because a lot of people then are in one county, there's no order. They go over the county, there's another order. Sometimes they leave it up to the city. Cities could be very, very small. You can go from one corner of the city to the next. The next city is totally different. And it's become a hot mess in places like Missouri. But in other places like California that has an eviction moratorium and it's set to expire just in a few days, they've been battling between the landlords and the property owners to get this eviction moratorium. So how would the president do it? 5 minutes of this video, how would he do it? How would it be done? How quickly could it help you? And why is it likely that's going to happen? One, he would do it by executive order. I mean, it would literally be, one piece of paper. I'm holding, 25 pages of paper, a script of quotes I'm about to do. I mean, it would be one page. It would basically say, hey, COVID-19 hit, people can't make rent, no eviction moratoriums until date. Done. Signed president. It's as simple as that. It's really, really simple. He has complete authority to do it. So he would absolutely hold up in a court of law. Two, it would be very sort of broad and very simple. There would be no discretion or confusion about the documents. It would be very, very straightforward. It's incredible relief that you need now. And as the Purple Power has been tweeting, those standalone bills, hashtag LALATE write the bill, hashtag write the bill, has been one. Stimulus checks, 2 FPUC, and eviction moratorium. But, this is the president's doing. Come on, Donald. I mean, this is what you got to do. You want to win? You want to get votes? You want to protect your electorate? There's nothing that is really, how would you say, partisan about homelessness. Protecting people in their homes doesn't really go over party lines. So you really want to protect your American citizens. And if you don't, the antithesis of it, or the question that follows, is, okay, why aren't you not doing it? My responses are, do you have the big banks in your hand? Do you have the big property owners in your hands? There's two groups that don't want eviction moratoriums. Those are banks. They want to foreclose. And those are property owners. They want to evict. So if you're not doing it, is it because you're appeasing them? It's not because you want to leave it up to the states. I mean, this president never wants to leave anything up to the states. Now, Nancy, Petty Pelosi is over there just doing much of nothing. She has an eviction moratorium. She has a mortgage forbearance in a, 1,800-page HEROES Act bill. I mean, I a few weeks ago I was calling it a 200-page document. It's 1,800 pages. I mean, how do I turn to the section about eviction moratorium? Let me get a forklift to turn to that section of the bill. I mean, it's crazy. It really is crazy. So the president can certainly do this, and we don't need the Speaker of the House to keep you in your house. We can have the president to do it for you. Now, mortgage forbearance, same thing. He could absolutely issue an order that says no mortgage foreclosures during the pandemic, and simple as that. Banks would have no say about it. They would really not have no real authority to challenge it. And it's as simple as that. What would be the expiration date? I mean, the expiration date could be, December 31st, a date that a lot of people like. Happy New Year's, you're evicted. Or it could be 30 days or 60 days or 90 days after the pandemic ends, which is generally what the states have done when they've issued an eviction moratorium. So this is really good news. As movie Meadows says today and yesterday, it's really been Speaker Pelosi driving this train as a conductor more than really anybody else. But, movie Meadows, your boss, you see every single day in the West Wing. I mean, he could be due to this eviction moratorium. I know she's petty Pelosi, but movie Meadows, move over to the West Wing and get this done. And I think privately she wants a deal, and publicly she says she wants a deal. But when it comes to dealing with Republicans in the administration, we haven't seen a lot of action. I could say the same thing. selling movie medals about your boss. I mean, there was absolutely categorically no answer. No answer, as we sit here today, from viewers of this channel who have become very empowered and very informed, why the president has not issued an eviction moratorium. And you know, what makes this even more troubling is you sit back and you wonder, what was that other thing? And why does he not understand that other thing doesn't work? I mean, we all make mistakes. He didn't perhaps write the bill. He said the lawyers wrote the bill. Okay, let's blame the lawyers. Let's blame the chef, or the sous chef, or the bagel guy on the corner. Whoever wrote that eviction moratorium that became an executive order now 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I mean, give them early furlough. It's just not an executive order. It says call up Steve Mnuchin in chat if you have a problem with your rent. I mean, really? I just, call a PUD and just say, hey, how are you if you have problems with your rent? What? That's not eviction moratorium. It's not a mortgage forbearance. It did much of nothing. And America needs something. The question is when and how soon. It really has to be done by the president. I mean, as we sit here today, I have been recording the call to order for the president to an eviction moratorium. For what? How long have I been saying this now? 2 months? That the president should be doing this by executive order, that don't wait for the Speaker of the House to get this done. Don't wait for the Republicans to take this done. And Kentucky Fried Chicken, he might, be on extra crispy and real nice and tender today, but he's been super juicy, Mitch McConnell, even when he was eating the secret sauce and the special recipe, because Mitch McConnell has never given you an eviction moratorium. I'm like, what? Yeah, I mean, as we sit here today, a lot of these people just don't want you to remind them what they've done. They have forgetful amnesia, or deliberate amnesia, or they just simply want to, Did we used to go on a date? No, I don't know you. Whatever his name is, they seem to forget things very conveniently. Well, I'm not forgetting. The Republicans have never given you an eviction moratorium in writing. No, never. The HEALS Act, Mitch wrote, no eviction moratorium. Remember that Saturday and Sunday before that? I remember it like it was yesterday, because it was almost like yesterday. Steve Mnuchin and Larry Kudlow, without calculator, appeared on Sunday Morning News and said, hey, yeah, we're about to debut our bill, and there will be an eviction moratorium in there, so congratulations, you won't be evicted from your homes. And then Monday morning came the bill, and it wasn't in there. It was like, I needed to send Carmen Sandiego in just to say, hey, Carmen, can you find the eviction moratorium in this bill? It's just not there. Where is it? Is it in the Bermuda Triangle? Did Mitch leave in the jacuzzi with a Mai Tai 3 weeks ago? I mean, where is it? So Republicans can talk about Nancy Pelosi as much as they want, or Petty Pelosi, but when it comes to eviction moratorium, this onus is on them. There's been nothing but a hot mess express for the Republicans, for the GOP, when it comes to eviction moratorium. Never putting it into a bill, never putting it into a proposal of a bill. All those skinny this and skinny that and heavy this and low cal that. None of those proposals have eviction moratoriums in them. And then when you have all the press statements, all they ever do is talk about eviction moratorium. They talk about it morning, noon, and night. It's sort of like that dad when you were growing up, and he said you'll get a raise, for taking out the garbage. I'll give you an extra 54 cents. And 3 years later, you're still taking out the garbage and not getting the extra 54 cents. You keep on being told by the Republicans are going to give you an eviction moratorium. They don't do it. So why is this happening? And ultimately, this is the party that has the president in office that can give you the executive order. And as I say here right today, I just, it makes me a little bit schizophrenic. It makes me a little bit confused. And it also, I laugh when I'm about to get pissed off. This is where I'm about to get pissed off. I don't understand why news reporters have not grasped this situation. No news reporter has asked Mark Meadows every single day that he has an interview. I mean, he has 20 interviews a day. No one has asked, why has your party and your president not issued an eviction moratorium? Are these broadcast reporters just so bad? Are they just uneducated? Do they only know about, Kanye and Kim, and that they don't know anything about stimulus? Do they just not understand that there's an eviction moratorium, that there's a financial cliff out there, that people are becoming homeless? Do they not understand those things? And how hard is it to grasp asking the question, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you, whatever your name is, Mr. Movie Meadows. Why is there no eviction moratorium? No, I'm not going to ask that question. I'm going to ask, what was Kelly O'Conway's personal life at home? They seem to sort of levitate to the thing that, maybe draws their ratings, but doesn't really answer the question, which is eviction moratorium. The states also really, not kosher. It's Nancy's trying to give bailouts to Gavin and Andrew, but are Gavin and Andrew trying to do eviction moratoriums? No. Are the states that she says she's trying to get this $1 trillion bailout for these states and trying to, help, what she call it, state and local, she calls them, because children going hungry. Does she do anything to ensure that those states are doing eviction moratoriums? No. How hard is it for Nancy Pelosi to call up these states and say, hey, I think you need to do an eviction moratorium now because my HEROES Act is just not going very quickly at the moment. Can you maybe, do an eviction moratorium for your state now and maybe float it? And maybe we can, no. There's a lot of no for these groups when it comes to eviction moratoriums. Just no, 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 no. And no action, no action, no action. And you just sort of want to say, hey, here's a crayon, go write it. Hence, hashtag LALATE, hashtag write the bell. Boy, what a week it has been. It's been a great group. I've seen your comments. They've been absolutely wonderful. Understand there's so much activity on this channel right now that's really quite exciting. So I don't always have the opportunity to respond to your comments. We're getting upwards of maybe, somewhere between 5,000 to 10,000 comments per day. Social media about 5,000 more. And so it's like, there was someone last night who was a very, very nice person. Hey, how come you haven't responded to my comment? I'm like, because I haven't seen it. I mean, there's upwards of 15,000 comments in a day that one person am looking at. No, I'm not a Real Housewife where I have 14 people responding to your tweets and your your questions and comments. So I'm sorry if I can't get to it. And for that viewer who's having, I forgot what city he's in, he's homeless. My wishes are with you. And please understand that if for some reason I just can't get to a comment because, it's one of the 15,000 out there, it doesn't mean that I ignored you. It's as simple as that. Go and do me 3 favors. 1, like this video. The algorithm really likes it. You've been really quite nice. Some of these videos are doing upwards of 130,000 views. Some of them are 10,000. Some are 50,000. Hit that like button because it helps the algorithm. It helps put this video above other videos that just do a lot of this and this and that and those. And it helps the correct news, the true news, go up ahead. Next, go to the front channel, hit that subscribe and alert button. It's been an incredible run. I mean, last week we reached 200,000 subscribers at the start of the week, which is an all-time record for YouTube. And the call to action last Saturday was, let's try to do 25,000 in 2 weeks. Well, I think we're at 21,000 now in less than 5 days. So we're really doing good. Let's keep it up. We can do more. And then finally hit that alert button. Just smack it with your scarf from the SBA, the one they sent you. Just say, hey, just hit it with that scarf. And so you get an alert every time a new video goes live. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused, and stay valid.